Yeah.
Did you take 30 back?
Excuse me?
Just take 30 back too?
I went like down 360 to 20, and then I came back 20 to George Bush.
See,
Because
that's
it's faster.
the worst of it.
All right, everyone, welcome. Amy is not here this evening, so as vice, I will step in and lead this meeting. So I'd like to call to order our meeting at 6:01 p.m. We would like to start with any citizen comments. Going once, going twice. All right. Moving on to our agenda items for this evening, we are going to discuss the Gateway to the Globe, a multicultural celebration scheduled for March 29th, 2025, and take appropriate action.
Perfect. Perlis Vera, Director of Economic Development, Tourism and Planning. I'm actually going to introduce Jessica Alvarado, Parks Superintendent. So per council direction on November 12th, 2024, it was directed that it become a subcommittee. And Jessica and her team are going to host it, but due to the fact that the chart and ordinance, we would need one board member of the arts and culture to be part of it. So
That's Alvarado, Recreation Superintendent. So the way this will work is tonight you guys will establish the multicultural subcommittee. You guys can name that whatever you would like it to be. Last year it was the multicultural task force. Of course, whatever your task force is, subcommittee. So you guys can vote on that tonight, and then you can also choose one member, up to 2 members of your current board to be on this subcommittee. The subcommittee can meet as many times as they want, as little time as they want. And it is not a recorded meeting. And so, but the only thing we do ask is that the board member that is on that subcommittee to take notes, give those notes to your city staff liaison. So that way that can be included in y'all's agenda. So that way each month when you guys meet, the entire board can be updated on the progress of this event, the multicultural event.
So what is the role of the subcommittee? Because you guys are organizing the event and you want the subcommittee and us to do what? What is our part?
So the subcommittee will be kind of just providing guidance and feedback on what they would like to see at this event. If they have musical preferences, if they have a genre they want us to kind of explore those avenues, if they have food trucks, any suggestions that the committee has, the subcommittee has, the team, my events team will then kind of take that back and run with it. Last year, the way it worked was different members of the board kind of oversaw different areas of the event. From my understanding, that didn't work out so well. So what we're looking to do is have the subcommittee be involved to whatever level that they would want to, but ultimately it would be on the city staff to organize and operate those specific sections. So whether that's the kids zone area, they would be working alongside the subcommittee member if they choose to. And if they choose to just come to the event and enjoy it with their family, they're most welcome to also do that too.
I have an additional question. Do y'all have a pre-qualified list of vendors for food trucks and musicians and stuff like that we'll have to pick from, or can we make full
No,
recommendations?
yeah, you guys can make full recommendations, whoever's on the subcommittee. That's what we want, is we want the creative minds to kind of come together and provide us with ideas and stuff outside of the box. And it can be things that we've already done last year. What the team and I have done is we went through and we watched all of the task force videos that happened, so that way they could put on this first 2024 event. And so we wrote down notes that didn't necessarily make it out of the note box. And so we want to explore some of those possibilities as well, that some of the board members mentioned last year, but didn't happen. In addition to anything new that we may think of, or you guys may think of. And then what we'll do is we'll have the team still meet with the subcommittee at least once or twice before the event. Just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page and that we're understanding that what it is that the subcommittee is looking for out of this event. Yes.
So just so that I'm clear, because I know what the event is, I didn't attend. but my wife and daughter did, so I heard all about it. But can you define what the purpose of doing the event is and the expectation from the city of why we chose to have the event?
Yes, so this is a multicultural event. The city council has directed staff to kind of put on an event that touched all different cultures that represent our city. And so previously we put on one specific cultural event, and then we had neighbors all across the city saying, well, what about our culture and what about our culture? And so putting on this event the first year, it gave us a lot of room for growth and room for improvement to kind of touch all the different cultures of our city. And so that's something that we want to continue to build on. I know there were some notes about, buying 5 to 10 different flags, and then the next year add to that and buying another 5 to 10 different flags. And then every single year build this into a true multicultural festival. So the expectation of the city council is to continue this event with lots of resident feedback, lots of resident input, kind of make this a resident led, but the team will be the ones to kind of do that back end work since the budget does sit within the Parks and Recreation Department. We would then take that lead because there's a lot to it. You don't just get to go and find a vendor. You've got to get insurance and you've got to get a hold harmless and you've got to make sure that everyone is set for rain or if we have a contingency plan. And the good thing is, as most of you guys know, our carnival event got canceled this last weekend, but with this multicultural event, because it sits at the end of March, there's room for flexibility, so we could possibly reschedule that. And so that's just feedback we want to get from the subcommittee. We could easily make a contingency plan, but we want to allow the subcommittee to kind of weigh in on what they would like to see in a rain out. Is it kind of at a lower level? Is it a rain out that's at the same level? So just kind of getting all different ideas of event planning from this subcommittee.
Last year, was it at Historical Park?
Yes, it was.
And
Yeah, I went to
to be a vendor at it, do you have to live in Farmers Branch? So it's outside vendors coming in, but representing cultures that live in the city.
Yes, and we always do look forward to the residents first, kind of getting that resident input first, and then if there's opportunities to expand a certain area, whether that's the market area or the food trucks, and we need to go outside Farmers Branch, we definitely can explore that.
Post-event, lessons learned video that goes through what was like, what people really responded to, and then some of the things like maybe that could have been improved or maybe need to be avoided for next time, or you mentioned there was a lot of recommendations that were made, like, is that online somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, and it'll be, I can find that date and then I can send that information to Bonnie to get to you.
Yeah, because that'd be a good jump off point to expand it into what. See.
Definitely, that's what we did too, is we looked at the planning process and then the after action process.
It's understood, but I thought that when this was brought up a month or so ago, that there already was a subcommittee or a task force, and that a lot of those people have interest in continuing forward. I haven't heard any conversation about that. Is that still the plan, or is that kind of off the table now that staff is?
So that's the subcommittee of the Arts and Cultural Board. We're just looking for a recommendation to have 1 or up to 2 of the current Art and Culture Committee board members sit on that subcommittee.
Oh, so there's already a group of people.
We're going to invite the group of people from the task force back. They will no longer be a task force, they will be a subcommittee
Okay.
of your current board.
Were they invited tonight?
I'm not sure.
No, this was more of an open, they'll be invited going forward and they can do a presentation, but because this is just a committee and the
Understood.
subcommittee was not formed yet.
So wow, that's new news. So
Right.
everyone that sat on the task force last year is going to be invited to sit on the new task force, now called a subcommittee to arts and culture.
And you want 1 or 2 of us to also be on that committee, but they've already done this once, the people from last year.
Yes, and if there's new members that would like to be on it, they're more than welcome to as well. There doesn't have to be any type of a special call meeting or quorum or anything like that to establish more additional members onto the subcommittee because we're already meeting tonight to establish the subcommittee. So what we do moving forward is the staff will then call them back, invite them to meet with one or two of you guys, and that will be the first meeting of the subcommittee.
And how many were on it last year?
You have that list, Carla? None of us were a part of that team, but I feel like it was like 7. Yeah, there was
While
like
she's
7.
looking that up,
Yeah.
is there a reason for changing the title of the group from task force to subcommittee? Is there a functional reason for that?
I believe the task force is actually kind of like a board where it is a recorded meeting, there are agenda items, and the subcommittee doesn't necessarily meet those same qualifications, so they don't require those different open meetings act requirements.
So that the subcommittee can be more actionable in a shorter time frame.
Okay, so it's not that they want to kind of diminish the influence, it's that they want to be able to have the subcommittee act more
Yeah.
liberally.
So from my knowledge, 2 of the previous board members, one is a city employee and one sits on a different board. And so we already knew at that point we would be having to fill 2 spots, 2 vacancies.
Mhm.
And so it was the council's directive to go with the Arts and Cultural Board, to have this as a subcommittee so we could establish this sooner rather than later. Had we reestablished the previous, making it back into a multicultural task force, that's at least a 3 to 4 month delay because they have to go out, do the recorded interviews, have the council review the interviews and then bring them in. And so because the event is in March and planning starts like last March.
I think it makes sense for
No,
to
that's a
fall
great
into
answer.
this committee.
That's a
That
wonderful.
helps
I don't-
clear things up.
Culture.
So
Okay.
If more than 2 of us are interested in being on that subcommittee, is that something that's possible? Because I can tell several people that are very interested, and I know I am.
We're not banned from volunteering.
But,
We're not banned from volunteering at the event and stuff.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
But then it would create a quorum issue, having a representative.
It would have to be 3 or less because
Gotcha.
4 would make a quorum and you can't have,
Three or fewer, so that, okay.
That was a 2. It's a 2 or 3.
Did I?
Yeah, upstairs.
You said a minimum of 1.
Okay.
Minimum
Wait,
of-
so we'll confirm with. the
It's up to 3.
secretary, But I knew it had to be a minimum of 1 because it is.
Up to
a part of the
3.
Culture board.
Yeah.
Up to
I can
3.
just tell by the contributions to
Still on a
the
quorum.
conservation, conversation, that there's probably more than 2 of us that are really interested in this
Right.
project. So
Yeah.
that's the only reason I asked.
Okay, well, Bonnie says 3, so I'm pretty sure she knows that. And so we don't have to make another special called meeting. You guys can kind of vote on.
Yeah, so at this point, we should discuss who absolutely 100% knows they want to throw their name in the hat. Don't be shy. Okay, so we have 2. Anyone else that absolutely knows they want to throw their name in the hat? Or do you want to just volunteer on the day of?
that's always
And
welcome.
she said, nobody is banned from.
Volunteering on the day of, exactly, so we can still support and show up,
Until that time.
right,
All right,
And I'm not volunteering because I have a pre-commitment.
on that date.
and tell me the date.
The date is
March 29th.
March 29th.
Let me make.
Yes,
sure I'm-
please.
Does that
check your
still-
calendars.
Is that still stand with
I
the,
believe that still stands. I know there's a event. I don't know if you were aware there's an event that day too. Was there communication on that event? Okay, I'll get with Lynette, but I think there was already a
March 29th is a
a
Saturday.
year ago. Was it? I'll have to verify.
a quinceanera?
I don't know when she booked it.
It is.
No, it was booked.
I thought it was booked sometime earlier in the year.
Okay.
Is
that
it in the
correct?
evening?
Yes.
During the
Okay.
day.
It's during the.
I would still love to be involved in getting into it, but I can't be there. I've got a concert for Words, so,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
so,
Well, can I
We
ask
need
what
to be involved.
here's the time
Yeah.
commitment?
yeah, just without
Good.
official capacity, that's fine with me.
So the time commitment would be just meeting at least once or twice over the next couple of months, starting in January. December's pretty much gone. Very informal meetings. to get us some notes and some suggestions on what the subcommittee is looking for in this event. Because as we get closer, there's lots of logistics that we have to kind of set in stone. So maybe the first month, maybe twice, and then after that, maybe once a month. And then the day of, we do welcome volunteers to help, but it's not necessarily needed. But as much
All day.
so it will be the event, we're looking at 5 to 9 p.m.
Evening.
Yes, an
It
evening
was during
time.
the day last.
It was during the day and there were some performances that had like fire and white and they weren't able to
Hmm.
see that when it was daytime,
So 5 until when?
5 to 9 p.m.
No, you said that.
Yeah.
and it's just whoever's on the committee, is it led by a staff liaison or is it just the people that,
It's
From-
the subcommittee members. Now, sometimes the staff liaison can be there, but it's not necessarily required.
So we know Jennifer wants to do.
That's great.
Right there. Good for you.
Anyone else want to volunteer? We have for sure one, we have a second,
Well,
but can't
I could
be present.
volunteer to help
With the
anything
pre-work?
to be done
The
for
committee.
the day of the event,
Yeah.
Correct.
because I'm very interested in it but I can't actually attend
Right.
the actual event, so I get to miss out.
Do we need to nominate them?
Do we need?
Formally put their name on
So
the
far, you
list?
just have one.
I think so.
Okay, does
We
any,
we did make it an action item.
okay. Then we need to make,
So I move to nominate Jennifer.
Don't we have to establish the subcommittee first?
oh,
I think we have to vote. to
That's
establish
right.
the
Yeah.
subcommittee
Oh.
first.
thank you for keeping us on
Then
task.
have a
We
second.
do, he's
Yeah,
got it.
you're right, because that was the last time without that subcommittee.
All right, so. Anybody want to make a motion?
Cart before horse.
I make a motion that we establish a subcommittee for the
Multicultural.
multicultural event.
Gateway to the Globe.
Gateway to the Globe
A
on March
multi-
29th of 2025.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed?
I don't.
The
vote for
motion,
nomination.
yes, yes. The motion is passed. Okay, so do we need to rename? Okay, I'm gonna keep this in order. Would we, if there's any suggestions about naming of the subcommittee? Recommendations? Motions? What are we gonna call it?
Sorry.
What are we gonna call the committee instead of the 85 words you just had to say in order? Do we want to give it?
It was called the multicultural.
Multicultural Event Subcommittee. How about that?
That's descriptive.
I make a motion to establish the multicultural events subcommittee to host the Gateway to the Globe on March 29th, 2025.
Just the,
Just the
She
name.
just
Just the
like
name.
to name the committee.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said is to name the committee, the multicultural event subcommittee.
I think we should name it this particular event, the Gateway to the Globe. Because that's what the subcommittee is for this one event, because we have other events subcommittee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
no, you guys had a discussion, so
So, no,
your turn. Make the motion, man.
so I move to make the subcommittee the Gateway to the Globe subcommittee.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Man, we are still, we're cooking.
And now can we nominate people?
Yes.
So I nominate Jennifer. We'll do them one at a time.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed? All right, the motion passes for Jennifer to be one of the subcommittee members.
and I nominate Chris, is it McGuire? Chris McGuire as a subcommittee member.
Can I be a subcommittee member if I'm not able to attend the, okay, because I'd really like to help with
You just have
this.
to attend the meetings in January, and
you just-
February, correct?
Yeah, you're helping them with ideas and whatever. They're doing the heavy lifting.
And you have to come back here and report to us.
Yes.
Right.
I'll make sure to take notes and report.
You'll be the note taker? Because I suck at taking.
I second Chris.
Thank you.
No one has seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes for Chris McGuire to be the second member of the subcommittee. Okay, and that places our 2 members. So we have 1 extra spot, but we don't have to take it. We can just all volunteer the day of. So we come.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, okay. I think that's all. I didn't miss any other items. Let me double check my list. Okay, so anyone?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion passes to adjourn at 6:21.
Impressive.
And there is your Robert's Rule